Trooper Justin Loftis of the Connecticut State Police, 0394, is a liar. He lied to me on at least 3 occasions, and I'm going to detail those right now. The full story is on my YouTube page, but we're just going to try to keep this as short as we can. So, on this day, I and a co-complainant called the state police to report the noise disturbances at my house. I'm going to skip the full story. Loftis and Christie arrived. That's just coincidental. He happens to be on this list. Now, the reason how I know he lied in this particular situation is that I gave him partial plate numbers. He claimed to not be able to do anything with them. Yet, this incident report came up under the name of the man who owns the house where I would later find all of the vehicles used in these repeated breach of peace incidents. I found it under his name. So Loftis says, I can't do anything with that partial plate. I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't figure out who it was. Even though he had a vehicle description and descriptions and partial plates on all of them. He claims to not be able to do anything. Well, then why is the incident report, it's not under my name. Like, you know, I searched under my name and address. That's this one. It's not in here. It's not in here. This is when a vehicle hit my house and drove away. That was actually later that year. We'll get to that. But it's not in here. So why did it come up under the name of a guy who I had never met? You see that? Matthew David McCanzick. So that's one lie. If he didn't know who it was, why is this guy's name on this original report? Lie number 2 is after I found, because he said he didn't know who this guy was, and I drove around town, and I found all 3 vehicles parked in a driveway at 23 Lindsay Lane. And then I brought my 2 co-complainants with me, 2 witnesses. One of them was a co-complainant, both retired Marine Corps veterans, very credible people and employed, no criminal records, good guys, ethical guys, honest guys, came with me, and I said, I just want you to verify. And as soon as they saw it, I said, yeah, of course. They're very unique vehicles. Green Lincoln Navigator, blue Ford Explorer, white Altima. Navigator and Explorer had specific stickers all over them, NRA, Marine Corps. They were also in the Marine Corps, which is unfortunate. The son driving the blue Ford Explorer was in the Army. I had those stickers all over it. So it's very clear. Very unique vehicles parked right in the driveway, right close to the road. We pulled right up. They confirmed that it was there. And then, of course, I called, again, the state troopers, and at this time I got Arua Alexander, and that's what this one is here, 1200-431-705, and told them that we had found the vehicles parked in the driveway at 23 Lindsay Lane, as you can see. And they asked us to leave, and they brought Trooper Loftis back into the mix here. And so Trooper Loftis, came back to my co-complainant and told him what he found, but then he saw me just 2 weeks later at the sports complex in town, happened to be driving through, and said, oh, hey, I talked to your roommate there and your co-complainant that he had met, and I told him what happened, and I said, yeah, I heard, and he said, so what exactly was it in your words? He said, well, yeah, I went over there and I talked to the residents of Lindsay Lane. This is Trooper Loftis telling me this. I talked to the residents at 23 Lindsay Lane. They admitted to doing it, but he said it was just kids playing a game. So I don't know who the they are, but the people that answered the door at 23 Lindsay Lane admitted that they had laid on the horn and beat their horn and made all this noise in front of my house on hundreds of occasions. Trooper Loftis thought that it was appropriate to just accept that and not charge them with anything, even though they had just admitted to hundreds of breach of peace. I think that's a terrible decision, and it'll start to come into play later because it looks like it enabled these people to increase their criminal activity. As other things happened, we now have to look at them as the primary suspects. They admitted to it once, when I say once for 300 times. Now, there's lie number 2, because I would then later learn, after I was forced to learn, after my dog was poisoned multiple times, and I started to figure out who these people were. After my dog was poisoned multiple times, I reported to Trooper Robert O'Connor. He threatened me and threatened to charge me with making a false statement, and this was later on, and was just generally a complete psychopath, I started to wonder, is he protecting these people? Who are they? So then I had never even bothered to, because the noise disturbances stopped. And I think, honestly, denial. It was in denial. I didn't want to accept that people are this evil and that they would do such things. So I start searching 23 Lindsay Lane, and I get the name of this guy, and then I start searching some more, and I realize that he's a private investigator and has close ties to police. So that's the simplest way to put it. Then I realized that there are no kids at the house. So Trooper Loftis lied twice. There are no kids at the house. Kids are people that are under 18. They have at least two offspring, maybe three, based on my research. All of them over 18. So that's a lie number 2. He refused to charge him with a crime, and that was it. So, wait, no, that's one too. So he lied about. He said he couldn't figure out who they were. Said they were just kids. Oh, okay, there you go. That's what it was. And last but not least, while talking to me that day at the sports complex, he tells me the full story, and I say, "Can I have an incident report?" He says, "Oh, there isn't one. It didn't rise to that level," was his words. Well, here it is, lie number 3, 1200-392-876. He produced the incident report. He produced it on the day that I first talked to him. He evidently knew the name of the people who the vehicles were registered to and lied about that. So I don't really know what his motivation is, but once you learn that this guy, I suspect that this guy was a cop. And I just get a feeling he was probably a state trooper, because it looked like he lived in Tolland and his kids went to school in Tolland, and the barracks are there in Tolland. And when you're living there, I mean, I was a mile away from the barracks in Willington, just over the bridge, but it's just, you're surrounded by state cops, which you think is a good thing, and you feel safe until you realize that they're dishonest people. Many of them, or in my experience, all of them. So he lied 3 times, and it looks like he probably lied to protect one of his own, because he saw it, the Blue Line gang, which is what they do. So that's it. Trooper Justin Loftis is a liar. I caught him lying 3 times. Once, and we're getting way up into the story here, once I realized, now, after my dog was poisoned, then Trooper O'Connor threatened me, and that was on this day here, O'Connor 1011, report number 1700-509-964. I said to O'Connor, I remember I walk in to speak with O'Connor, and I say, there's been a history with a neighbor. Now my dog has found and eaten these objects from within throwing distance of the road, and she got so sick she almost died twice. I reported it to him, and he threatens me. I'm going to charge you with filing a false claim. You're lying. And I said, but one, I have no criminal record. And the last time I had called the police, literally the last time I had called them, was on this day when I called Rua Alexander, 7/30/2012, 5 years before. So Trooper Robert O'Connor looks a homeowner, landlord, taxpayer with no criminal record who had not contacted the police in 5 years, and who had last contacted the police to report criminal activity that, according to Trooper Justin Loftis, the people admitted to. I pointed that out to him, and O'Connor says, yeah, I just read that in the system. So that's when I knew that Trooper Loftis had lied, because O'Connor confirmed that there was, in fact, an incident report. He threatened me. That's a long story, and that was that. But that's where I got the indication. Then I went back. Long story long, I started pulling FOIA requests and requesting reports, and here we are, and that's why I have this information here in front of you today. That's really it. I'm going to try to segment this and keep it short. Trooper Justin Loftis is a liar, a friendly, polite liar.